you can grow a big blueberry bush like this from a little tiny seed. We're getting ready to plant some blueberry seeds here today, and I've prepared a flat of peat moss. It's loosely filled kind of to the top, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches thick of peat moss, and just Canadian sphagnum peat moss that you could get at Lowe's or Walmart, someplace like that. These blueberry seeds were purchased from the Kentucky Blueberry Growers Association. It's important to get seeds from a reputable grower. These seeds have been stratified and they get nearly 100% germination rate. Good quality seeds. Now, they come in different quantities. This is 1,000 packs here and 1,000 seeds in this little package. This is an ounce of seeds that we got from the Kentucky Blueberry Growers Association. We repackaged it into this salt shaker, which is a handy way of planting them. I'm going to use the salt shaker to kind of slightly sprinkle seeds onto the peat moss here. Put a nice little coating like I'm putting salt or pepper on some food, and that'll get us a nice even disbursement through the peat moss. And then I kind of lightly rake in the seeds. I want them all in that top 1/4 inch or so of soil. Some of them will grow right from the surface. I think they do best if they're just slightly underneath the soil, not very far. It's difficult to do them one at a time, so usually I do them in bulk like this, just kind of get most of them into that ideal condition. And we're going to get blueberries coming up like little grass seeds in here. Again, I'll just sprinkle this on here. I already planted this first section over here. I'm going to finish this tray up, and then we'll give it a little drink of water. Work them in again just slightly. The water will settle that soil down, but I kind of like to just tap it down a little bit. Not very heavy, just lightly. So we got all 3 sections here seeded up. I'm going to take these seeds away here so I don't get them wet. So I have a garden hose right here. It's not the best garden hose in the world. It kind of leaks. I'm going to lightly spray this down. The seeds are kept normally in the freezer. Keeps them good and fresh. Once you get them into the soil and wet like that, then they're going to tend to germinate. It takes about 6 weeks, almost 8 weeks sometimes, for the first seeds to come up. And they'll be just tiny little things. Well, you saw how small the seeds were. They're little nothing things. And they'll come up like little blades of grass almost here, but it won't look like grass. They'll open with a couple leaves like that at first. And we're going to have it's going to be thick like grass in here. Little blueberry plants about 6 or 8 weeks from now. Now, some of the seeds won't germinate for almost 3 months. It's a slow process. And then the first year we'll get a plant maybe about this tall, the first summer. We like to grow them, a lot of times we'll start them indoors in the windowsill during the winter. They can be started any time of the year pretty well. I've got a plant here just to show you. This is a 2-year-old plant. Now it could have gotten a little bigger. It's a little dry now, I see, and we haven't taken particularly good care of it. But this was started from a seed like that just 2 years ago. So this is what we would have 2 summers from now, and we've probably started over 1,000 plants there in that flat. But if we take care of them good, we'll have 500 or 1,000 plants like this 2 years from now. Blueberry plants have to grow a lot of years. See, we'll get some fruit off of this 2-year-old bush. I can see that it's setting fruit buds out here on the end now, but very often it'll take several years to go from a seed to a good producing blueberry bush. It's not a quick thing, but it's a good thing. Okay, we've got our flat all planted now, so we're going to take this indoors. I'm going to set it up in the windowsill in the house. It'll be at room temperature, and those seeds will start to soak up that water and germinate. We're going to have to keep this moist, just like it is here. This is a tray that's got holes in the bottom, so it's a wet, well-drained soil. We want to keep it moist, but not soaked right down. We just want nice, moist soil. And what's going to tend to happen is we might have a little problem with fungus here. I like to keep a little spray container with some Captan or some other type of fungus spray to kind of lightly hit this every 10 days or 2 weeks or so to make sure we don't get fungus building up on the top of that soil, because it's just moist soil. It's going to take 6, 8, 12 weeks for the seeds to germinate, and in that time you can have some fungus trouble if you're not careful. So I'm going to set this in the windowsill. We're going to have our fungus spray ready. These seeds are started in straight sphagnum Canadian peat moss. We really don't recommend that you fertilize them at first. There's enough nutrients in the soil and enough nutrients in the water to get them to germinate and start to grow. As soon as they get just a little bit of height to them, just a couple inches tall, then we'll give them a little bit of fertilizer, a little nutrients, and spur that growth on. Fertilizer too early can hurt your root growth. It'll stop them seeds from germinating. Same's true if you're trying to start them from cuttings. You don't want to fertilize them too soon. So I'm going to bring this in the house and set this in the windowsill, and about 6-8 weeks from now we should have a bunch of little blueberry bushes. We'll try to film it again and show you what we've got.